Alright guys, this is going to be my 2020 NFL mock draft. So first pick, Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow right now is clearly the #1 pick for them. Had an amazing year at LSU. Chase Young is almost a guarantee for Redskins as well. Unstoppable right end talent. This is where most boards have the Chargers trading. I personally think the Dolphins are going to trade up with the Lions. I think a fifth, sixth pick, and possibly a first round next year, the Houston first. For the third pick this year, possibly like a later pick, perhaps like 182 or something. But I honestly think they'll just do the third. Proposed, accepted, and with that pick, they take Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins take Tua. Alright, so now this is really where the Giants have a choice. They can take Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson, who's an all-around defensive talent, or they could take an offensive line, which is a big need in this draft. But a talent like Simmons also may not be on the board. I personally think it'd be more beneficial if they take a tackle, and I think Andrew Thomas is probably one of the most solidified tackles in this draft. So I'll take Andrew Thomas to the Giants. And traded down, Lions still get their pick with Jeffrey Okudah. Sixth pick, the Chargers. It's pretty certain they're going to take Justin Herbert. And now the Panthers get their Luke Kuechly replacement with Isaiah Simmons. So now we're back to where everything kind of starts to pan out the same. The 8th pick, the Cardinals are going to take Tristan Wirfs. 9th, they're going to take Jaguars. Going to take Derek Brown. Still missing that right end to kind of replace Calais Campbell. The Browns had some of the worst tackles. Already got Jack Conklin from the Tennessee Titans, so they're going to draft Mekhi Becton from Louisville. Alright. Right now, Jets do not necessarily have a top receiver, and also do not have a really good offensive line. I honestly think offensive line is more important than the receiver in this pick, because if you don't have the right offensive line, then you won't be able to throw the ball to your receiver. See, it says offensive line receiver. So personally, for me, I'm gonna take Jedrick Willis out of Alabama. Kind of helps Sam Darnold get the ball out. 12th, I think that Jerry Jeudy is probably one of the top receivers in this draft. I think CeeDee Lamb is better, but I feel like he's more of a scheme fit and a John Gruden kind of guy. So I'll go with him. San Fran lost Emmanuel Sanders to the Saints. They got a lot of younger receivers, a lot of speedsters. So I think CeeDee Lamb can be kind of that rough and tough receiver that they could use. The Bucks, your main priority right now is to most likely protect Tom Brady. So out of all these linemen, you could probably go Austin Jackson at USC, or Josh Jones or Ezra Cleveland, but I feel like it's too high of a pick right now. So I actually feel it's more beneficial to trade down. So let's see what we can do. Possibly trade down to a lower team like the Cowboys. Take Tampa's. And for that, maybe 2. See if they take it. It's been accepted. So now the Cowboys have the 14th pick, which they could do a lot with. They're fine at wide receiver. They got Gallup and Cooper. Quarterback, Dak may or may not play, so it's not a good idea to take quarterback now. Offensive line is okay, but they also lost one of their best cornerbacks in Byron Jones, so it's pretty obvious right now that top cornerback is the right selection. One of their biggest problems was not getting takeovers. So if you look, 33 tackles, 11 pass breakups, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions. Game high 4. So I would say that you could honestly go with CJ Henderson, or you could go with Christian Fulton. I think when you look at the two, besides Jeff Okudah, I honestly think that CJ Henderson is the second best corner, so I think they take him here. Which now leaves it to the Broncos. They got Courtland Sutton, they got Torrey Smith, and that's really it. They really only got Courtland Sutton. They signed Melvin Gordon, they have Philip Lindsay, Noah Fant. Courtland's not really that deep ball receiver that they need, so I think they take Henry Ruggs. Alright. Falcons. They got rid of their cornerback and Desmond Trufant. But if I'm not mistaken, corner and it's a linebacker. Okay. No, oops. So I mean, going back to corners, I think they could use a speedster off the end. So I feel like Christian Fulton, although not really approved. I mean, you could also go with Trayvon Diggs. Put his hands on the ball, but he also has injury. But I'm going with the young prospect, Christian Fulton. Oh, so it lets me click it. Yeah. Alrighty. So now back to Tampa. Get that O lineman for Tom Brady, Austin Jackson at a USC. Let me click it. Goddamn. Alright. Now 8th, they could take a running back here, or they could wait to the 26th pick, but they also need offensive line. So I think out of all the picks right here, you kind of have to go for need. Could get Josh Jones at Houston, Ezra Cleveland, but I think you got to go for what you need, and they really need a running back. If I'm not mistaken, the Dolphins were one of the worst run teams in the league, so they got to kind of fix that up to help Tua, who they drafted earlier. So I think they take Jonathan Taylor, who's more or less the kind of power back wide receiver, running back. 2000, 21, 26, or 25, and it's 5. So I think he's the best running back in this draft. So I'm gonna take him there. 19. Let's see, they've already drafted Jerry Jeudy. Quarterback, linebacker. Linebacker would be pretty important for them as well. You got Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen. Could also go quarterback, but it's also not a need right now. So I think that they take most likely Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. 20, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earlier they took Derek Brown to fill that hole up. Right now they need wide receivers to throw to. So I think they're going to take the next ranked wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. Had a great year at LSU. 18 touchdowns. They got DJ Chark on the outside, who's a speedster. So I think Justin Jefferson will get taken here. And now the Eagles. My team. So honestly, I would love to have Justin Jefferson or Henry Ruggs, but I feel with such a stacked class, we could pass and go defense. Right now we need a linebacker, so I think we take Patrick Queen of LSU. Give me these things out. Vikings trade away Stephon Diggs. Got rid of almost all of their corners. So I think they fixed that by getting another Diggs, Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. Alrighty. So this is the one. Do we take Jordan Love here for the Patriots? Team needs, it's most likely going to be as a linebacker. They do need a quarterback. I don't feel like Love would get taken by any of these teams. Perhaps maybe Green Bay if they plan on finding a successor to Aaron Rodgers. But I feel like that's not the biggest need. So I mean, Colts might take him there at 34 though. So if I'm the Patriots, I'm honestly gonna trade down. Possibly with Green Bay, because I know that they would love to get some prospects over some of these other teams. Team names, I'm gonna say wide receiver, offensive line. See how this matches up. Wide out. Move up over, Minnesota. Sorry, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Patriots, Green Bay. Patriots, we're gonna trade that, and that. Alright, no, let's go down here. Oops. Alright, so they need a wide receiver. I'll go back to wide receivers here. Right now, I think they already have their power maker, like their playmaker, which is Davante Adams. They need a speed guy off the edge. I think KJ Hamler is one of the fastest behind Henry Ruggs in this draft. And they also got, I think KJ should be the pick here, but I feel it is Jalen Reagor would be the better pick. Punt returner as well. Kind of multi-tool wide receiver. So I'm taking Jalen Reagor. And then right after would be the Saints. Saints are in need of a linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. Quarterback, corner. I personally think they could go linebacker here. So there's not really anybody on the inside. So I think this should be the time for them to take Javon Clinlaw. Stats. 35 tackles, 6 sacks. It's pretty good. He finally gets taken off the board. Got that Aaron Rodgers effect. Alright. So now the Vikings gonna take a wide receiver. They got their playmaker and Adam Thielen. They're gonna take their speedster and KJ Hamler. Dolphins. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they've already took a running back. They took a quarterback. They need offensive line. I think, because they got pick 39 as well, I think they take offensive lineman. I think out of the linemen here, Josh Jones is the best. From Houston, missed 2 games as a sophomore. This is his 4th year, so it's not really that much of an issue. There's power lineman. I think they take him here. Do we want to go wide receiver? Or running back. They don't even have like a tight end, really, besides Greg Olsen. Look at the team needs. So if I can base it. Defensive end. Alright, let's go. Defense. I'm assuming they need rush end, which would probably be just in case Clowney doesn't come back. So this would probably be where they take Cleveon Chason from LSU. 6.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups. It was 2018. Ooh, excuse me. So Cleveon Chason. Ravens, they need a linebacker, right? And wide receiver. I don't think they're that bad on wide receiver. I think they need inside help though. Which they, Jesus Christ, don't really got. They could probably wait till later pick to get that. So specialty kickers. They lost inside help. Offense. They don't really need a receiver though. I mean, if they won, they could go 23 passes for. They could try and find a good receiving back, like a Cam Akers. Oh wow, it doesn't even say his injury bit. The tackles are pretty solid. I think there's a chance that they could move Calais Campbell inside, which means they'll need outside help, or they could take this pick, Yetur Gross-Matos, and move him inside as well. So I'm going to take Yetur out of Penn State. And now the Titans. They had a great run in the playoffs, but they could not get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. They need help. They need pressure. They need AJ Espion of Iowa. 11 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. That's pressure. That's what they need. Patriots traded down. Still get their quarterback of the future, Jordan Love. San Fran. Oh my. So I mean, corner is obviously the pick here, but who to take is the question. Jeff Gladney, AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell is most likely going to be the pick. Athletic. That's a score. Slightly undersized, quick-footed. I mean, I don't think that's. I think Jeff Gladney is more or less. Yeah. If you look at the positive and negatives, I feel like just, Jeff Gladney will probably be the pick here. They already got a bigger receiver in Richard Sherman, so this gotta be their speed guy. And now the Chiefs. They need corner as well. Yeah, because they lost Kendall, so it makes sense. Now they're gonna take AJ Terrell. Okay. Stretch out. Alright, Bengals could use offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, offensive line. Right now the best tackle on the board is I said Cleveland. Average strength as run blocker. I feel like with the weapons they have, run game is not going to be the biggest issue or the biggest commitment. So I feel like that's not a big issue as it seems. So I feel like he'd be the perfect pick here for them. Colts still need a quarterback. Still feel like it could be too soon at this pick. Oops. Let's see. 34. Colts also need wide receiver help, if I'm not mistaken. Corner, wide receiver. Oh, did they not get a pick in the first round? Makes sense. So they need corner, wide receiver. Let's see. T. Higgins, Denzel. They got their speed guy, so they need a big time playmaker. 12 touchdowns. I know Tiki. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 6'4" as well. That's true deep speed, second gear, which isn't really as big as an impact since they got TY. So I feel like T. Higgins, a large, strong receiver, plays big football. Which also again isn't that. His vertical adjustment pulls the fastball from the air, gives result as a downfield blocker, which they got Marlon Mack, so that'd be useful. Honestly, it's between the two receivers right here. If Shenault did not get injured, I feel like he would most likely be the pick. But I feel like from the two that we can rely on the most, I'm honestly going to say that Denzel Mims is probably the guy here. Lions. So they drafted Jeffrey Okudah in the first round. So that handles their corner problem. But they need a offensive lineman, or linebacker, excuse me. Trey Lewis out of Alabama, Zach Bond, Joshua Uche, 12 sacks, that's pretty solid. I feel like more takeaways is more effective, especially when, I don't know what I was saying, but, could honestly go for any of these linebackers. I'm gonna have faith in the school. I don't really know much about him, but I'm gonna go with Terrell Lewis of Alabama. Negatives: improved strength and ability to defeat blocks. Won't necessarily be that valuable since they already have Eric Flowers down at edge rusher, so you want to play the edge rusher position. So I feel like just being able to get the ball, get takeovers, help the offense score, be good enough for them. They have Jabril Peppers. They signed James Bradbury. Who do the Giants need? Let's see. Offensive tackle, offensive linebacker. There's discussions that there's a chance they could get Jadeveon Clowney, or they could try and re-sign Marcus Golden. But I feel as if the pressure, like both those guys are pressure players, which kind of shows what kind of linebacker they want. And as of now, with the uncertainty of whether those two get signed, I think that they will take Zach Bond, who had 12.5 sacks, and can kind of be that pressure player. The Chargers, quarterback, they already took Justin Herbert early on the draft. They could use offensive tackle to kind of protect him a little bit more. Because they do have Austin Eckler, who's he does not lie on his feet and struggles with motion. Can't really slide. And then Lucas Niang. Shouldn't really be in the second level. Okay, in the pass. I feel just based off need and kind of scheme, since everything is around Herbert, helping him to develop, helping Austin Eckler out in space when he goes to catch the ball. I feel like Lucas Niang will better suit the team. Carolina. Oh god. They lost their corner, James Bradbury. They didn't get one back. And they also need defensive tackle. Alright. I feel the ability to get a strong defensive tackle in the draft will be limited. So I feel like they have to go defensive tackle here. This entire season. So that's not really great stat wise. could go. Or they could go. What else do I need? Oh, oops. Wrong button. Corner. I mean, Jake Green, Jalen Johnson. Noah Igbinokin. I don't know. They lost. Defensive tackle is the position they have to go here because they lost Gerald McCoy and Dante Poe. Most improved overall strength. Oh, no. So he's more of like a quick defensive tackle, kind of like a Aaron Donald, just getting right off, and it's more of a power. I guess both too quick. I'm gonna go with Blacklock, just because he's a higher rank. They both seem to have the same kind of play style. Actually, injury. I'll go with Davis, only because of the injury, which I'm not sure that was last year. I think it was 2 years ago. But I'm just gonna assume Davis for the better. Dolphins. Oh god. They do need safety and they need guard. There's so many safeties on the board actually. So DeFelt is probably the second best safety in the class. I think above Winfield. But I think McKinney is obviously the first. So we gotta take McKinney. The Texans. Oh god. They traded for wide receiver. They don't really need wide receiver. Corner, defensive tackle, kind of all the same as everybody else. Physical. He's a speedster, ain't he? Oh, hell no. That's fine. I think Egg Benican. I don't even know how to say his name. I'm gonna pick Noah. If I'm not mistaken, he's also a bigger corner. Pretty speedy as well. So I'm gonna take him. Browns, they need a safety. It doesn't show it here, but I know they need a safety because I was looking like 2 days ago. The safety, I think Grant DeFelt is the second best receiver. I mean, the second safety in this class. So I'm gonna take him. Let's click the button. All right, Jaguars. Let's see. So let's see who they traded. What I pick? Scroll up. They got Justin Jefferson and Derek Brown. Offensive line and corner. Damn, I need offensive line. I mean, not offensive line. I'll tell that back here. Josh Uchi. 8 sacks. They don't really need that kind of a player since they have such a great offensive. I mean, actually though, that kind of also filled the space where Calais Campbell was. Adding on to Josh Allen as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think he might be a bigger, explosive, athletic front 7 player. Negatives. He needs to get off blocks and not getting pass coverage. Let's see this, okay. Will you get a great draft? Average suit ability and ball skills. That's huge. 1 interception in 5 games. 4 pass breakups. I'm just gonna assume for the best and take Joshua Uche out of Michigan. Kind of try and get this defense back to where it's at. Or they could take corner. Who they lost Jalen Ramsey and they lost AJ Bouye. Yeah. Corner is most likely the pick here. Jalen Johnson. I just thought about that right now. Bears. Bears need offensive line and outside linebacker. If I'm not mistaken, they lost Danny Trevathan. They could use outside help because they also got rid of Nick Kowalski or something like that. So I think Josh Uche would most likely go to them. Kind of help Khalil Mack on the edge. And I'm pretty sure they also signed Robert Quinn. So he could probably be that backup kind of reinforcement for him. Colts need a quarterback. Yes, Colts need a quarterback. Here's the thing.